Wood can either cover your arse or sink its teeth into it, depending on whether or not you have the animal friend perk. You guessed it, Yao Guai. These mighty beasts were, for some of us, the first truly dangerous creatures that we encountered in Fallout 3. You know, before albino scorpions and deathclaws spawned fucking everywhere? They made an appearance in the Honest Hearts DLC of New Vegas, but we will get to that later. They are of significant interest to us due to both the unique presence they have in Zion Canyon, and that they may provide us with one of the only examples of a ghoulification process outside humans, or at least the Yogi Bear equivalent. So first of all, what did they come from? Well, Yao Guai are mutated from the American black bear, one of the most widespread species of bear in the world. So much so that the IUCN, the International Union for Conservation of Nature, has classified them as least concern. This means that despite human population centers or hunting, there is very little risk of this species becoming endangered, or, God forbid, extinct. Why black bears are the mutated variant found in DC and Zion Canyon is also explained by their population. Black bears have a very high population in Virginia, California and Arizona. It is most likely for this reason that it was this species of bear that survived, though we'll get to that later. They've been on the juice. That is the only thing I can think of to describe them. I mean, if you look at modern black bears, yeah, they could take your head off with a casual swipe of the paw, but they have a lot of fat as well, and it looks absolutely adorable. These bears, however, are absolutely fucking massive. They ripple with muscle, which may be a mix of exposure to radiation and the environment that they grew in. Most of the fur is gone and it hangs off of them in clumps and patches. Now, since we never see one with all of its fur and the parts of it without any are spotless, it is likely that this is how they are born, which is backed up by the presence of Yao Guai cubs in Zion Canyon, who are as equally bald as adults found either there or in the DC Wasteland. They have various scars and tears across their flesh, as well as patches of what look like infected wounds, or perhaps rotting flesh. The fact that it is present in Yao Guai found in both DC and Zion Canyon means that these markings are common to all Yao Guai, and that it may give us a clue into how they came to be. This will become important later in the video, but just keep that in mind, as well as their milky white eyes. Their paws have become much larger and the claws more pronounced, once again most likely so that they are better suited to their new environments. Now onto their habitats and feeding habits. Most encounters with Yao Guai, at least for me, have occurred at night, which would suggest that they are either nocturnal or have more of an inclination towards hunting at night, which, given they would be competing with so many other predators, would make sense. They seem to prefer to dwell or live in caves, as large populations of them can be found in areas with large caves in them. Our example of this in DC is the Yao Guai tunnels, where we find a very high amount of them skulking around in the remains of a human settlement. I say remains as that is literally all there is. People are dead. Going further in, we can get a better look at their feeding habits. A lot of Brahmin were eaten by the Yao Guai, and based on some of the blood that can be found and some bodies still intact, the Yao Guai may have injured them or incapacitated them while they were still alive and then dragged them down into the cave to finish them off. But wait, I hear you ask, why would they attack us then? Well, because they eat us as well. In fact, I would hazard that there may actually be more human remains in this cave here than Brahmin. This could mean that they killed more people because they actually prefer eating people to Brahmin, possibly due to people being weaker and possibly easier to kill than Brahmin. If this is the case, more were probably killed to make up for the decrease in energy that smaller people would provide from a meal compared to a full-size Brahmin. Now, we also see the presence of Yao Guai in Zion Canyon as well, and once again they inhabit an area with an extremely large amount of caves. Of course, their presence here makes more sense than DC. The reason it makes more sense is that Zion Canyon is located inside Zion National Park, which is known to have a sizable population of black bears. This of course raises the question of why their eyes are milky white then. This would suggest they have poor eyesight or even blindness, and would usually be a sign of a species that dwells almost exclusively in the dark, such as the tunnelers. However, Zion Canyon shows that the Yao Guai are frequently out in force in areas with very high levels of sunlight. So then why are their eyes like this? Well, we will get to that soon, I promise. So what is the relation with people like? As I've already shown you with the Yao Guai tunnels, it's a very intimate one, in which we die at the end. So they do see us as a source of food, but at times they also show a bond with people. Several scavengers throughout the waste can be found with the Yao Guai accompanying them, and they are very protective of the scavengers. They will not attack people without provocation, so it could be argued that they are domesticated to some extent. though Moses knows how that happened. With the animal friend perk, they will ignore us and even come to our aid in combat. So, like the ones with the scavengers, they can respond positively to other people given the right circumstances. Human settlements do not seem to scare them, as they tore through the one found in the Yao Guai tunnels, and they won't hesitate to attack an armed force either. A destroyed Enclave outpost can be found just outside the tunnels, though whether the Enclave attacked them first or not is unknown. Though given that the Enclave are arseholes, 'twas probably them. Now 2 things need to be wrapped up: Ruzka and Ghost of She. Well, may as well get the supernatural drug-induced one out of the way first.
Katubiyu. That is a sad story. I do not like to tell it, but if you are asking, it must be at Whitebird's request. That I will honor. Long ago, a girl lived among this tribe. She was a curious child, and a clever one, and her mother had a devil's time watching over her. One day, the child slipped away from camp and went to play in the caves nearby. The girl did not know that a Yao Guai slept in that cave. The girl died. The tribe wept. For the girl had died before her naming day, and her ghost would remain restless and wandering upon the earth. Many hunters tried to kill the beast, but it eluded them or drove them off. The shaman said that since it had consumed the girl, the two were one. So we call the beast Ghost of She, for the child had no name to be called. That is the story of the Ghost of She. It is a sad story. It is our story.
So in a nutshell, some kid wandered off and then got killed by a Yao Guai. The two then became one, and the spirit of the girl, the Ghost of She being the girl, inhabits the Yao Guai, and it kills any who come near its den. So a few things. You're high on a root called datura that causes severe hallucinogenic effects. So I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the giant flaming bird that can make clones of itself may not be all it seems. That being said, we do kill something. Now, since giant Yao Guai, which are larger than average, are present inside Zion Canyon, I propose this theory. We kill a huge fucking Yao Guai, at least twice again the size of your average Yao Guai. We know it's real as something extremely powerful is attacking us, and we can get meat and its paws. So this is just a large Yao Guai. So what about the legend? It could be true. This Yao Guai could have killed a child and no one managed to kill it in return. Why they used the root is either for ritual purposes, or you have to be high as a kite in order to be stupid enough to try and kill this huge Yao Guai. Also interesting to note is that in Chinese mythology, a Yao Guai, all one word, is an animal spirit that acquires mystical or otherworldly powers. So Ghost of She may be a nod to that. Next is Ruzka. Ruzka is a unique Yao Guai that can be found in the northwesternmost point of Point Lookout, and the only Yao Guai to be found within the entire DLC. It is twice the size of a normal Yao Guai and has a red bouncy ball inside its cave. This, together with the posters of it that can be found dotted around Point Lookout, suggest this was a performing bird of sorts. It seems to have a large amount of meat stored inside its cave, and based on the weapons found within, the swamp folk are probably where those remains come from. But wait, I hear you ask. Those posters are pre-war. That would mean Ruzka was over 200 years old. Oh. Yup. If it was a performing burr and was normal in these posters, then it was shipped over here before the bombs dropped and has been here all this time. This means that it was mutated by the fallout, and it's over 200 years old. And now we come full circle to what I've been hinting at all episode. Yao Guai are the burr equivalent of ghouls. Now burr, with me here. Their appearance is similar to feral ghouls. They have rotted patches on their skin and most body hair is gone. Ruzka gives us the evidence we need that they share a similar lifespan, given that it was alive pre-war. Their milky white eyes are also similar to that of the ghouls, suggesting a similar process damaged them. However, they remain fertile, as cubs can be found in Zion Canyon, though why they remain fertile I have no clue. Their flesh is also incredibly radioactive, suggesting that, like ghouls, they have absorbed a very high amount of it. So we have a group of burrs with extended lifespans, milky eyes, and patches of rotting flesh on their bodies, with the meat itself being highly radioactive. This theory seems plausible enough to me, even though it doesn't explain how this process passes to the cubs. It may be that they are not as far gone as ferals, as their bodies are in much better shape, at least in comparison to their original forms. than the ghouls. All this is, however, just a theory that I have come up with, and not confirmed canon. It could be that they are just ordinary mutated birds that live a decade or so and then die, but one thing cannot be denied, is that they are the cutest killers that roam post-apocalyptic America. Once adorable birds, now adorable mutant birds. They can be friend or foe, but they're interesting either way. If you enjoy my look into them and want to see more of my content, check out my playlist to see if there are any more questions on Fallout that you have, and I may have answered. Any support in spreading the word of this channel is greatly appreciated, as Fallout 4 is just around the corner. If you do want to support me and get regular updates, subscribe. Any suggestions or feedback for this episode should be left either in the comments below or on my subreddit, which is linked in the description. Follow me on Twitter or Facebook to get regular channel updates and to talk to me or have a wee chat. If you want to get in contact with me regarding business, message me here on YouTube or on my Twitter, and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. I hope you did enjoy this episode, and I hope to see you in the next one. Until then, goodbye.